Two of the poll-topping frontrunners are battling it out over bogus membership allegations over the weekend. The party nullified 1,300 memberships as improper because they were purchased by prepaid credit cards. And over the weekend, the Maxime Bernier camp accused a Kevin O'Leary organizer of improperly buying memberships. Kevin O'Leary reacted this morning.
Let's shine the light of transparency and make sure this election is built on the pillar of integrity. I want the party, and they know this, to vet every single vote and know that it's crystal clear who wants to start a mandate, whichever man or woman wins the leadership race, tainted by the cloud of fraud. We've got to get rid of this. This is old-style politics. I'm not going to stand for this stuff. Integrity and compliance, that's how I live in the financial services world. I'll be bringing that to the Conservative Party, and Canadians want that. Not just Canadians, the world is watching. We can't have the taint of fraud over our elections.
Well, let's bring in someone watching with concern from the sidelines. Conservative leadership hopeful Lisa Raitt joins us from Toronto. Lisa Raitt, what's this doing to the leadership race? Do you see a smear happening?
I do. I see very concerned members out there talking about what the value of their vote is if we have people who are trying to cheat the system get on a membership list when they have no intent of being Conservatives. So they're expressing their concern. And my concern is if the candidates let it happen, then the party has to step in and make sure that the candidates know that these infractions do result, in fact, in expulsion. That's what I'm calling for.
I'm curious how you do that, though, Lisa Raitt, in the sense that are the leadership candidates responsible for every action of every operative they have selling every membership? How do you hold them to account then?
Well, then who's holding anybody to account, Don? Of course, your team is your team. You must be responsible for the memberships that you are submitting to the party. And as well, whoever's your volunteer who is ever acting on your behalf, you should be aware of them to the best of your ability. And indeed, you should set the tone at the top that if you hear rumblings of it happening within your team, that you stamp it out. And the only way that people are going to do that if they know the stakes are high, and that includes being expelled from the race. And I think you'll get a lot more attention to detail on that. And if they won't do it, then the party has to. But the membership wants this to happen.
Okay, well, I'll play devil's advocate here. If one of your operatives was selling memberships improperly, would you step out of the race?
What I would do is I would stop the operative. I would ask the memberships to come off of the list. I would not pretend that there's nothing going on. I would make sure, just like CEOs, as I was one, have controllers in their company to make sure everything is above board before an outside auditor comes in place. I'll do what I need to do to make sure that my campaign is sound. But what I'd say as leader, I would make sure that it happens from above as well, that we do have third-party auditors validating lists, not just in leadership races, but in all these nomination races across the country where I hear about complaints all the time. People are concerned and they want their membership to mean something and have value. And that's what I would bring to the whole leadership and to the whole party.
Well, speaking of value of their membership, Michael Chong's raised this, and I don't know if where you sit on it. Is it time to think about following the Liberals on this and have memberships become free?
Our party's decided that we're pursuing the path that we're on right now. After we get through this leadership race, determined by how many people are validly on this list, hopefully the party will investigate and determine that everybody on the list is valid and those who are not validly there have to be removed. Maybe the membership will come to a point and determine that this isn't the best way to go. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm not going to presuppose. I'm going to say that the rules that we have now are the rules we've laid out. They have to be followed. Cheaters can't win in our system. So we have to deal with the now. We'll figure out the next later, but I can assure you that if I were the leader, I wouldn't let the shenanigans happen.
I'm curious, Lisa Raitt, you've come out very strongly red flagging Kevin O'Leary as someone who cannot take this party to victory, and you have other concerns about him. There's an article that suggests that you're still quite willing to sit as a member of his caucus if he leads. How do you square that circle?
Simple, because I don't represent Kevin O'Leary. I represent the people of Milton, and the best way to represent your country is to do your best work. And if I'm asked by a leader, any leader, to sit in a cabinet, if that's their choice, I will accept sitting in their cabinet because my goal is to help the country do better. If the membership chooses a leader, all of us fall in behind the leader. We put aside our differences for the better of the party. I don't think there's any arrogance or ego involved in this thing. It's public service That's how it should be treated. So I don't think Kevin O'Leary will be a great leader for us. I don't think he'll be able to form a cabinet. I've said that clearly. But that being said, if the membership chooses him and if he does win an election and if he wants to have me in his cabinet, I would use my skills to help the country. Don, there's nothing wrong in saying that.
Does the revelations of the weekend on these memberships make you even more uncomfortable with Kevin O'Leary, or do you think he deserves the benefit of the doubt to prove that these were not of his doing or his coordinates?
Yeah, I mean, fair question. I think for the sake of the party and how members are feeling right now about the validity and the value of their membership, the party does have to step in. Maxime has made some serious allegations. He's supplied an affidavit, I understand, that makes some serious allegations about Mr. O'Leary's campaign. They deserve to be investigated. That's all the process the party will go through. But I know the membership well, and I've been talking to them since last Thursday. And what membership wants is to get to the bottom of it. They want to know who's behind it, and they don't want cheaters to win. They don't want the bad apples to actually sway what's happening in this race, which is, to this point, a pretty good race of great conservative ideas.
All right. Interesting observations. Thanks, Lisa Raitt. Appreciate you coming on the show.